Man, this is going to be tough. So I figured now that I have all 17 in my possession, I would do what seems to be the most challenging rankings I've ever done on this channel. I'm going to sit here and try to rank from 17 to 1, my least favorite to my favorite, the entire collection from Happyland Studios. Stay tuned. Quick disclaimer, just because I rank them this way doesn't mean that's how you feel. Before everybody gets up in arms, oh man, I can't believe that's number 5, and why is that so low, and why is that number 1? Subjective. Your top 5 will be different from my top 5. Your bottom 5 will be different from my bottom 5, and so on and so forth. Everybody's ready? Let's go. I don't dislike any of these, even on down to number 17. It's just my least favorite. And that's starting off with Plum Loco. The plum, the leather, yes, it does smell good, but something's got to lose, you know? It's really not a bad fragrance. It's just my least favorite of the group. I like more above it. And like I said, I don't know what to say that I haven't said about most of these before. If you like plum and you like leather, you'll probably like Plum Loco. In the 16 spot, I know there's a lot of people that's not going to be happy about this because there's a lot of people that this would be in their top 5. It's coffee and leather. It's Queer Cafe. It's my least favorite of the 3 coffee fragrances of his offering. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy it, but he's got better, in my opinion. I like having a little bit more sweet gourmand notes with my coffee fragrances, and this lacks the sweetness. To my nose, off of my skin anyways, it lacks the sweetness. This is the most raw and robust straight up coffee and leather, but it's a good fragrance nonetheless. But it's ranked number 16, Queer Cafe. Moving into number 15 is actually one of the new releases from this past weekend. It's back-to-back coffee fragrances. It's Dawn Buster. Once again, absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's that happy medium between Homme for the holidays and Queer Cafe. I'm just not really I'm not really into heavy coffee, and when I am, it's only on certain times, and right now is really not that time. It's only during the very cold weather. This one's a good balance of sweetness with a little orange citrus up top mixed with the coffee. Very good coffee fragrance. If you don't like them overly sweet and you don't like them completely lacking sweetness, Dawn Buster will probably be the one from his coffee trifecta. Check it out. Moving into number 14 is a Fuji Air that I do enjoy thoroughly, but there's more Fuji Airs and Fuji Air-ish type fragrances from Happyland Studio that I enjoy more. And we're talking about Homeland, which, as a lot of you know, was originally man shit. If you like a good Fuji Air, you like Creed, Bois de Portugal, and fragrances like that, this is going to be a good one for you because it smells not very similar as much as it's in the very same vein, because it is that Creed. It's like Creed Bois de Portugal mixed with some other type of Fuji Air, because it doesn't smell exactly like it, but it's definitely going to remind you of it, because none of these are clones. He gets inspired by certain things and he gets to work. But Homeland, if you're looking for a real good classic Fuji Air, this might be the one. Number 13, if you're a fan of YSL Tuxedo and you want a much more amped up version, you might want to look into Cravat Noir. I also have the solid. I actually prefer the solid to the liquid. I don't know what it is. I don't know if eliminating that top note is what changes it for me, but I definitely prefer. And you gotta get good at really getting a little half spray if you just want to do that little bit, because these will really put out. Smells beautiful, don't get me wrong. Beautiful fragrance. I have done a full review on this one. I enjoy it thoroughly, but I like the solid more. The solid is just, some things, oddly enough, are better in a solid, and in my opinion, Cravat Noir is the same way. Moving into number 12 is one of the 2 freshest fragrances from Happyland Studio. And it's kind of a wild fragrance to say the least in the opening. It's Blue Fire. When you smell this one in the opening, you don't know what it's trying to do, really and truly. But once you give it a little bit of time to calm down, the tea on my skin anyways, the tea, the strawberry, and the iris really come out a lot more. And it kind of, it does its own thing. I don't know of anything that smells like this. I haven't smelled anything before that smells like this. Blue Fire is, the way I like to describe it, it's kind of wacky. Because it's all over the place when you see the note breakdown, and when you smell the opening, it smells like that note breakdown looks. It's strange. You don't really know where it's trying to go, and then once it finally picks a direction, it's something really good. I do enjoy Blue Fire thoroughly. Moving into number 11. So with this one being at the number 11 spot, it's going to shock some people because so many good fragrances has come out of EJ's lab since this came out that it made it start dropping and dropping and dropping in the rankings. But still a great fragrance nonetheless. If you like gourmand, sweet tobaccos, you're going to like Happyland's Signature. This is one of those fragrances that's going to freak people out that it's so low, but it's midway down the list. And it's an absolutely phenomenal tobacco fragrance. It's going to make every tobacco list ever, probably, for anybody that's tried it. But in the house alone, to my nose and my opinions with my taste, it's starting to drop more and more because so much good stuff has been coming out in the last 6 to 8 months from Happyland Studio. And don't get me wrong, it's powerhouse, it's loud. You got to be prepared when you're going to wear most of these fragrances because they're very long lasting and very loud fragrances. And Happyland Signature is one of the best for sure. Moving into number 10 was actually my gourmand pick for my 10 fragrances from 10 different fragrance families. And it just goes to show you, I do love these fragrances that even the middle of my list are some strong, lovable fragrances for me, such as Happyland Signature. And that's the same with Rhyolite. This is my favorite gourmand from the house. Oh, man, 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 man. God, this smells so good. If you want a really sweet fragrance that's not too sickeningly sweet, but it's definitely sweet. It's delectable. It's tasty. It smells tasty. Rhyolite's that fragrance for you. And have you ever heard a song called Rhyolite? I can't help but think of that. The song plays in my head every time I see that name and that label. It's a really good fragrance. Number 9. This is one of the more versatile fragrances from Happyland Studio, in my opinion. It's got a white floral aspect to it with the jasmine's kind of heightened on this one. I find this one's very good for work. That's what I like to use it for the most. And that's Happyland 7. I think this is very, very versatile. Really, really, really jasmine heavy on my skin anyways and to my nose, especially once that opening starts to calm down a little bit. It's a little fresh up top. It's got a creaminess to it. It's got a slight powderiness to it in the dry down. But I find it to be very, very versatile. It's got a barbershop-y Fuji Air style to it without quite being a barbershop Fuji Air. If you follow where I'm going, this is one that's worth trying. This is one of the better ones from the house. This used to be in my top 5. Then some other fragrances have come out recently to kind of drop it down a little bit. And that's Happyland 7. Versatility is thy name. Number 8. This is arguably the freshest fragrance from the house, in my opinion. But you got to be interested in a cannabis fragrance for sure. It's Geranibus. One of the 3 newest releases from Happyland Studio. Oh man, and it's got that slightly smoky cannabis note. Like I said before in the review, I don't get a whole lot of the geranium off of my skin. I know it's geranium and cannabis heavy. It just doesn't, I smell the geranium more when I spray it out in the air than when I spray it on my skin. Once it's on my skin, I don't know what it is. The geranium just kind of kills off. But of the cannabis fragrances that I've tried and I've smelled over the years, this is definitely the most wearable and most fresh. And if you're looking for a good one, this is a great one. We're really getting into the meat and potatoes of where it got real difficult. And this one jumped in 3 different spots when I was arranging these for a list. It's Amberland. I love the way this one smells too. I've done a full review on this one. If you like amber dominant fragrances, this is one of the best ones I've ever smelled. I love the way this smells. It's very, very good. It's very strong. It's very warming off of my skin. I smell it floating around in the air. This is one of the must tries, in my opinion, from Happyland Studio. This one was at 5, then it was 6, then it was 7, then it was 9, then it was 7. It stayed at 7. This is, like I said, this is the most difficult ranking I've ever had to do because I like all of these. I really do. There's not a bad fragrance from the house, and this rounds it off with a great amber fragrance. Amberland from Happyland Studios. Like I said, it's one of the best amber fragrances I've ever smelled. Moving into number 6, it's extremely masculine. That's why it's named what it's named. The smoke accord in the opening is very, very strong. It can be very off-putting to some. Dry down's beautiful. The dry down's Homeland with some suede. Some Happyland Studio. It's man shit. It's my collaboration with Happyland Studio. This is not for everybody. It wasn't designed to be for everybody. This is one that's gonna turn off some and intrigue others. For some people, they're gonna think it smells terrible, especially if they can't get past the opening. For others, it's gonna make you feel like you need to put a flannel shirt on, put a nice dip of Skoal or Copenhagen in your lip, and go cut down a damn tree. It's that level of masculine. Hence the reason it's called man shit. Not for the faint of heart. Moving into number 5. I love this fragrance. I actually used the shave soap and the aftershave last night. It's from Happyland Studio, Barber Shop. This is one of those 2 spray fragrances for me, which most of these are. I do 1 spray going around my neck because 1 big old spray, you can do so, and 1 half spray on my chest, and that's all I need. This thing goes all day long, and it projects very heavy. Oh man. This is a Barber Shop Fuji Air at its finest. This is extremely well done. If you're in the wet shaving community and you like to use shave soaps and aftershave splashes, I implore you to go to Strike Gold Shaving, or West Coast Shaving doesn't have it on their website, but Strike Gold Shaving, because that's who made it in collaboration with EJ. The shave soap and the aftershave splash is incredible. If you already have the fragrance, or just get all 3 together and have the complete setup, hell, get the solid too, because they're great. This is some of the best stuff EJ's ever done. You would think it's super basic because it's called Barber Shop, but it's not. It's much more complex. It's very, very, very deep and robust. Probably the best Barber Shop fragrance I've ever smelled. What can I say? He did such a great job with it. This is a must. You have to get Barber Shop from Happyland Studio. Moving into number 4. This became number 3 because there's a new release that jumped into this top 5. It jumped into the top 3, which made Green Irish Tobacco number 4. This was number 3 for me for a long time. My top 3 have not changed in a very long time, but this past weekend made my top 3 change. This is if Green Irish Tweed and Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille had a baby, and that baby was genetically superior to the baby that you would think they would have, because this is great, in my opinion. I love this one. I love this one. I love this one. I love this one. I know another person that loves this one. This is a top 3, top 2 from the house for him as well. This stuff's great. I've always liked this one. I've been through another 30 ml. I had a black 30 ml originally. I'll smell it again. Oh man, this is very versatile as well, because Green Irish Tweed is very versatile. Add some tobacco, a little touch of vanilla, you're all over it. You know what I mean? This is incredible stuff right here, guys. This is another one that, in my opinion, this is a must-have from Happyland Studio. Everything from this point on, from 5 on up, in my opinion, they're the 5 must-haves. Some people will agree, some people won't. But one of them is Green Irish Tobacco. Number 3. This isn't just my favorite coffee fragrance from Happyland Studio. This is my favorite coffee fragrance. And my favorite label and name of all time. Homme for the holidays. If you like a sweet gourmandy coffee, it smells like coffee and waffles. because that maple absolute. Oh my God. God, it smells so good. And you don't need a lot. This is one of those fragrances that goes beyond 12 hours for me. For those of you that saw the Geranibus review, and I said some give me 10 hours, some go 12 plus. 12 plus. I get every bit of 14 to 16 hours on my skin with Homme for the holidays. Yeah, it's not going to be the greatest thing as it's heating up, but my God, this is a must-have from Happyland Studio. If you like coffee and you like sweet, like I said, it smells like coffee and syrupy waffles. It's a fitting name. It's Homme for the holidays, and this is a must-have. Trust me. Now at number 2, this is the one that screwed up my top 3 because it smells so good to me. It's El Goodo because it's extremely, very Goodo. Apple brandy. Gives a grape whiskey smell to me because of the fruity notes in here. It's apple heavy, and I'm telling you, in the fruit notes, which is one of the notes, has to be a lot of grape. A lot of synthetic grape or natural grape or whatever kind of grape, because I smell grape whiskey. And I definitely smell the apple as well. This stuff is so good to me. I picture walking through the nightclub early in the day. It's based off of Big Star, which I'll link that video right below if you want to check it out, for the Ballad of El Goodo, which is the song that inspired EJ to make this fragrance. He tells the story on the website. I'll link the Ballad of El Goodo below. Blast from the past, to say the very least. But this fragrance, man. I've had it for a few days now, and it's a must. I love it so much. And from what I see on Facebook, a lot of other people that have already got it, they love it too. El Goodo, I'm telling you, it's very Goodo. My number 1 has not changed, probably will not change. It's going to take a lot to make it change. This has been my number 1 for a while. I did a full review on it. I was lucky enough to be one of the first people to smell it, hence why I have a written label, handwritten label. It's from Happyland Studio, obviously. It's Paisley Sky. I still say this is the best from the house. I hate when those atomizers jam against the corner a little bit. Inspired by a combination of Inicio's Psychedelic Love and Inicio's Oud for Greatness. This is heliotrope at its finest. There's so much heliotrope in here, it gives off a berry sweetness to me. I love it. This purplish color, or the actual label, which I'll put right here, that pinkish color. That's the color combination I think of when I smell this, is pinks and purples and light blues. And it's very strange because I get visuals when I smell a lot of different things, and this one does it to me. This is my favorite Happyland Studio offering. Has been for a long time, ever since it came out. And I don't see anything knocking it off, because I love El Goodo, but I'd still take this over El Goodo. And El Goodo shot to number 2 out of 17 immediately when I smelled it. It knocked down Homme for the Holidays. El Goodo knocked down Homme for the Holidays and Green Irish Tobacco. Don't get me wrong. It's that good to me. But it's not better than Paisley Sky. It didn't have the power to knock this down. I don't know if EJ ever will make something that'll take the number 1 spot, in my opinion, over Paisley Sky. This is another one that is a must buy, in my opinion, of course. And until next time, guys, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback. I know a lot of you aren't going to agree with these rankings because everybody feels differently about certain fragrances. And I highly doubt anybody else's 17 ranking for the house looks exactly like mine. And that's fine. That's how it is. You're going to like some more than others, and you're going to like some less than others. Same with me. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these 17, strongly advise you get a sample pack so you can try them all. You give them a spray now, it's a real good chance you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.